Hey everybody, I'm Scott Wikle. You're listening to My Kind of Country. A couple months ago, I had the pleasure of emceeing a show for this gentleman who was the headline act, and he's my guest on the show tonight. I was so very impressed not only with his music, but with him as a person. He was a great guy to talk to. I had a chance to visit with him, get to know him a little bit, and I really like what he stands for. I love the music that he's doing, and I know you're going to enjoy him as well. He's been on the Grand Ole Opry. He's toured all over the world, and he's worked with Mr. Alan Jackson. It's a pleasure to welcome him to the show tonight. This is William Michael Morgan. William, how are you tonight?
Man, I'm fantastic, bud. Man, that's a great introduction. I need to bring you out on the road do it for me every night. Thank you for those kind words, man. Heck yeah.
Well, it's all true.
Half of them.
It's all true, and it's always really nice when I have a chance to meet and talk with somebody and know them in person and then be able to do this interview. This is really great.
Yeah, man, that's a great thing about what we do for a living, man, is, we get to meet a whole lot of people, whether I'm traveling through and meeting people or people are traveling through and meeting you. I'm sure you've met a whole lot of people and made some good friends over the years.
Absolutely. That's the best thing I can take away from the music business, all these great people you get to know. Yeah, absolutely.
No doubt.
Well, man, you put on a fantastic show. We were in Boyne City, Michigan back in October, or actually the end of September it was. And I'll tell you, the first thing that impressed me about you is when you came up and introduced yourself, you had a firm handshake, and I talked to you like I'd known you forever. And then I walked out to the stage, and you had a steel guitar sitting there, and I thought, yep, we're good.
Oh, you know it, buddy. Hey, man, we don't go far without that steel guitar, man. I grew up with a steel guitar in my band back home in Mississippi, and before I even moved to Nashville, man, I just made it a point to always keep a steel guitar in my recordings and my live show. It's just part of my music,
Amen to that. It ain't country music without that, no doubt.
Amen.
Well, you started out at a very young age, and you were actually performing when you were in your teens. Is that right?
Yeah, buddy. I'm from Vicksburg, Mississippi. If you don't know where it is, you probably you probably missed it. If you come through, it ain't a whole bunch there, but we shoot, man. I started playing the guitar when I was probably about 11, 12 years old or so. I got my first band together, 13, 14. Heck, we played all the bar rooms they'd let me sneak into around here, and like I said, I had my old steel guitar. I had a bunch of good people around me, man, at a young age, just kind of molding me out, helping me grow up a little bit. And I'm thankful for those times, man. There's a lot simpler times, too.
Yeah, that's for sure. Did you come from a musical family?
When they're drinking and there's some karaoke involved, they might start singing a song or two. Man, no, not a whole lot. My dad sang a little bit. He played around the house. That's really who kind of really introduced me to my like of music, I suppose, just through CDs and albums and vinyl records. And he had no guitar around the house. He would play old Marty Robbins songs and stuff like that. And I just fell in love with that kind of sound. So as soon as I could pick it up, he let me, he showed me a couple chords, and it was just, I was off from there, I guess.
That's great. I love it. So when did you get serious about getting into the music business as a professional?
Yeah, man. I mean, I get asked that question a lot. It's hard to pinpoint when I really wanted to sing. I mean, I've always wanted to sing my whole life. I always knew that was something I wanted to do. I guess when it became a real deal is when I started my band here in Mississippi, and I started going up to Nashville pretty regularly and meeting songwriters and writing a bunch, and getting in the studio a little bit, and just learning the way up there, I suppose, in the music business. And which I don't know if we can ever thoroughly learn it, but
yeah.
but yeah, man. I mean, I've always wanted to sing. It's just always something I've wanted to do. I've always wanted to be creative and sing and write, and I feel like that's what God put me on this earth to do, and so that's all I really know how to do.
So what was your first record deal?
My first record deal was with Warner Music Nashville, and they got me my very first #1 song. Heck, we released our first singles off of it, got our first studio album with them, got a top 5 on Billboard with the album, and got a #1 off the record, followed by a top 40 40 in the top 30, which was pretty awesome for me. An old small town boy from Mississippi. It changed my whole world. I've gotten to travel all over not only the country now, but shoot, I've been able to travel over to the UK and all over the world now. It's been a blessing, no doubt.
Yeah, you just got back from a UK tour here last month, didn't you?
I did, man. I had a fantastic time. The people over there are so kind. At least the people I ran into, they were so nice and so welcoming. The fans they just love country music. It's just amazing. It's amazing over there. It's beautiful over there. People are nice too.
We have a lot of listeners from Europe and the UK, and I've got some good friends over there. And you're right, they really do love traditional country music. And
yeah, man, no doubt.
They're going to love to hear this interview.
Start putting some ice in our drinks, it'd be.
Yeah, I got a buddy from England. He comes over here to visit. He never wants ice. He always makes it a point to tell him no ice in my drink.
I'm telling you. We got to make it a point to tell him put a little ice in that.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well, the album we talked about is called Vinyl. And folks, you can go to WilliamMichaelMorgan.com and check out his music and tour dates and all that great stuff. And vinyl, of course, is available at all those great outlets like Amazon and iTunes and all those wonderful places. And as we mentioned, you had a #1 certified gold song from that. It was called I Met a Girl. What a great song. Tell me about that, will you?
Man, goodness, that, like I said, it just changed my whole world, man. That song specifically. It was our first single. Heck, it was our very first #1 song. When I first heard that song, I just fell in love with it. My producers, Jimmy Ritchie and Scott Hendricks at the time, they took me in the studio with it, and we made it our own as far as the sound goes. And, man, it just felt special the whole time, the whole process of it. I haven't really felt that again in the studio. It was just something about that song just felt so special. There was a few songs on that album, I suppose, that gave me that feel, but that's kind of why it's taken me so long to put another album out, man, is because I just want to make sure I get that feel again. I want to make sure for the fans and for me and for heck, everybody that listens to country music, I want to have a great representation of what I think is country music. So, but that being said, shoot, I'm going to be able to release some music in about January or February next year. We're really looking forward to that. I've been hard in the studio trying to find that magic again, trying to find that sound. I've lived a whole lot of life since that first album, and I feel like I've got a lot to write about. Heck, I've been writing it for the past couple of years now, and it felt good to get it all out, and I can't wait for the people to hear it.
Well, that's great. I'm looking forward to it, and I hope you'll keep me posted because I'd love to have you come back on and do a feature,
no doubt.
That'd be great.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I would absolutely love to.
Well, some of the songs on the album that I really gravitate. First of all, let me ask you, being a younger artist in the business now, there's such a division between what they call, new country and the traditional country, and your music. There's a lot of traditional in there, but it also, there's also a lot of the modern sound in there. How do you bridge that gap, and what is your feeling on that?
Man, I've got a few different feelings about it, but personally, man, I just make my own music. I'm influenced by a lot of different genres. I'm influenced by a lot of different singers and artists and writers, and I guess that's just kind of how that sound for me fell out. I definitely tend to lean more towards the traditional side, especially with some of this new music we're going to be putting out. Heck, I grew up on it. I love it. It's what molded me. I figured we might as well put it out.
Well, we have a lot of great traditional artists coming along now, and music has really swung back toward that. And I think it's great that, you don't necessarily worry about the category. You worry about putting out good music, and I think that's what gives you staying power. And you mentioned the songs earlier, too. The songwriting is what sets an artist apart as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, well, for sure, man. There's a lot of things that an artist, it's a big umbrella, I suppose, being an artist. The songwriter aspect of it, the stage, the live show, the band, the music, the everything. It all falls under it all. But just the one thing I can say is just be yourself. You know, it's taken me quite some time to figure it out, and I don't know if I'll ever truly figure it all out. But I feel like I'm learning myself more and more, and what I want to say and what I want to sing about. I'm learning that people want to hear just honesty and truthfulness. You know, and so gosh, it's not a hard concept. You know, I just that's what I want to do. You know, I just want to be me.
Well, I think you're on the right track.
To figure it all out, you know.
Yeah. Well, you're definitely on the right track, and that's really what music's about. You know, if you relate to it, the audience knows that. And the cool thing is when you hear someone else's songs and you can relate to them, there's something in the song that might apply to your life. You know, I think that's a great gift as a songwriter. You know, and
sure.
One of the songs on the album that I really liked was, and I love the title cut. I think that's one of my favorites. But "Spend It All on You" is a fabulous song.
Thanks, man. That was kind of a last-minute cut, but when I heard it, I immediately fell in love with it. I mean, it was just one of those easy listening. You know, it just kind of goes back to my wide span of love for all the genres. You know, it's kind of got that R&B kind of feel to it. You know, I'm from Mississippi, so there's a lot of blues and R&B in my blood down here, you know. So I just wanted to kind of tip my hat to that a little bit on that.
Absolutely.
Song for the ladies too, you know.
Yeah, it's a great song. And of course, "Missing," that was your second single. That did extremely well for you as well. And "Lonesomeville" is another great song on there too.
Thanks, man. Yeah, "Lonesomeville" was one of the ones I wrote. I wrote it with a couple of good buddies of mine. We were down in Florida on a trip, and man, if I could write a book one day, I'll tell you.
Well, I know you had a pretty serious breakup a few years back, and I know you did a song called "Gone Enough." It was kind of talking about that a little bit. Tell me that story.
Yeah, well, it's a long story, but as far as "Gone Enough" goes, I didn't actually write that song. I wish I would have, but what drew me to it is kind of the message, and I was kind of going through that at the same time. I was like, wow, somebody wrote this song, must have known what I was going through at the time. You know, it's just perfect timing. But gosh dang, man, that message just couldn't have hit home any harder at that specific time in my life. And gosh, we still, you know, we get some good response out on that song live, you know, especially if people want to hear that more than a lot of the stuff on the album, on our first record, which is nice. You know, we just put that song out last year, along with a couple of more songs. I think we put out 5 songs total. And of those 5 songs, people want to hear those just as much as the stuff that was played on terrestrial radio or you know, that we've had out for a few years.
Well, that's great. "Broken Hearted" is another one too that I really liked.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I love that one too. It's a fun one. It's a fun one, no doubt.
Well, you've done some big shows. I know you've worked with Lee Brice, and you've done a whole bunch of touring with Alan Jackson too.
Yeah, man, we just got done on the tour with Alan Jackson. That was that was an unbelievable experience. He's such an icon. His whole team is so nice and so caregiving. You know, just what can we get for you? You know, can we help you with this? If there was something different with the sound one night, it was dialed in the next. I mean, they just went out of their way almost to make sure that we were taken care of. I couldn't honestly speak any higher of those people, from Alan himself to his management to his band to the crew to the crew at the venues. Every one of those people were so kind to us and my crew. But Lee Brice, man, he was awesome. Justin Moore, that was a fun tour as well. The American Made tour. I actually just when I got off tour with Lee Brice, he sent me a tour gift. It was a 9mm. I just actually took it out again and shot a couple targets with it, which I won't talk about how great it was and what great accuracy, but it's always fun to get out there and relieve a little stress, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. That's pretty cool. Well, yeah. You've been on the Grand Ole Opry a bunch now. How many times have you been on there?
Shoot, gosh dang, I think it's 69 times we've been on now.
Wow, is that right?
68 or 69 times, yeah.
Wow.
And every time it feels like the first time. I'll tell you, one of my favorite stages to play. It's always been. I get just as nervous every time getting on that stage. I thought I'd kick the old nervous bug, but it's just in me when I get on that Opry stage, man. Just knowing the history of that place.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, tell me, I know you remember your first time out there. Tell me the first night you were out there. Who introduced you, and what was the song that you did?
First night I was out there was Jeannie Seeley introduced me, and I played "I Met a Girl," which had just came out as a single at the time, and I played one of my favorite songs of all time, "I Never Go Around Mirrors," which
yeah,
it's an old traditional song. You know, my favorite version of it, Keith Whitley, did a fantastic version of it. But we did those two songs, and gosh, it was so amazing. My mom and dad was there. A lot of my family got to come. It was definitely a night to remember.
That's great. Jeannie Seeley speaks very highly of you, by the way. She was just on my show a couple weeks ago, and
man,
she's real impressive. She's a neat lady.
Man, she's a sweetheart. Her and her husband both, they're great people. And gosh, she sings just as good now as she did back then, man, I'll tell you.
She sure does. She is a class act, no doubt about it. Well, you've got a New Year's Eve thing coming up at the Nashville Palace. Tell me a little bit about that.
I do, yeah. It's kind of a last-minute scheduling, but I'm glad we scheduled it nonetheless. It's going to be a great time. New Year's Eve. There's a few other people. I think James Dupree is going to be on it, which is a buddy of mine. He's a great artist. I think there's a couple other people going to be on it. And there might be a couple pop in here and there, the artists, friends of mine, or just there. Heck, it's Nashville. You never know who might be in the audience. But, man, we're looking forward to that full band show. I think it's going to be a great time. If anybody's in the area and they want to come on out, come on out.
Fantastic. New Year's Eve at the Nashville Palace in Nashville, Tennessee. Starts at 4 o'clock. The Becky Hinson and the Nashville Palace Band. And Highway 101 is going to be there. Pam Miller and James Dupree, as you mentioned. And then William Michael Morgan takes the stage at 11 p.m. to ring in the new year. So that's going to be a great show.
Yeah, man.
Looking forward to it.
It's going to be, we're going to bring it in right.
We're going to make sure we put all that information on our Facebook page, too, for our listeners.
Oh, thank you, man. Heck yeah. Thank you.
You know, you got a little girl, Presley, and I'll bet she is just looking forward to the holidays.
Excuse me. Yeah, she's a handful, man. We got her now. We were just setting up Christmas decorations and stuff here at my mom and dad's house. I'm still down here for Thanksgiving, and I'm going back home to Nashville tomorrow. So I'll be down here for another day. But we were just setting up some inflatable snowmen and Santa Claus, and setting the tree up and hanging a couple lights. If it was up to me, we'd have done it about a week ago. But Dad, he always waits till after Thanksgiving.
You're one of those guys. You got to set everything up later.
I'm ready, man. I start playing my Christmas music about after Halloween. Oh man, I know it's infectious. I'll tell you, it's infectious. I'm more of like a Dean Martin kind of classical kind of Christmas guy. Of course, I listen to my Michael Bublé, of course, but gosh dang, I like the old school stuff, Bing Crosby and stuff.
Oh yeah, all the classics. Yeah, I always thought it'd be so cool to write a Christmas classic like that, because it gets played once a year, but everybody remembers it, remembers all the words.
Everybody knows it. Everybody from 1 to 92.
Yeah,
everybody knows it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, besides the new album, what's coming up in the new year for you?
Well, man, we're going to play a whole bunch of shows. I got a cruise coming up. I'm playing in January. I've got going back over to the UK. We're planning in May again, and of course we'll have all sorts of stuff sprinkled in between those two time periods, and everything up until probably about Thanksgiving again next year. We're going to stay busy as we can, and the biggest plan is just putting out new music, streaming wise. We're going to put out 2 or 3 songs in the beginning of the year, and my hope is to have a total of about 10 songs out next year on Spotify, Pandora, iTunes, YouTube, everything streaming. Whichever anybody wants to listen to, they can choose it on their own platform. But I'm excited about that. Heck, it's been a minute or two since we've had some songs out, so it feels good to be in that process again.
Absolutely. Well, I'm looking forward to it, and I know you're going to have some great songs out there, and I want to thank you too for doing such great traditional music. And I always love you did a Merle Haggard song when I saw you, and I always love that when somebody does that. Merle's my all-time favorite.
He should be on the Mount Rushmore of country music.
Amen to that. Amen to that.
Yeah.
Well, man, I'm so glad things are going well for you. We're looking forward to the new year with you, and I hope you'll come back when you get your new music. We'd love to get it on the air for the folks. And wish you all the best for Merry Christmas, you and your family, and hope you have a wonderful, wonderful holiday season.
Hey, thank you, man. I hope you had a fantastic Thanksgiving. I hope you have a great Christmas as well. And as soon as we get this new music out, I'll be giving you a shout, man.
Oh, man, looking forward to it. Folks, it's WilliamMichaelMorgan.com is the website. Please go check that out. All that information will be on our My Kind of Country Facebook page for you as well. And right now, we're going to play some great music from William Michael Morgan as we continue with My Kind of Country. William, thanks again for being on the show. Appreciate it, my friend.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it, brother. I look forward to seeing you soon.
She don't laugh at everything, but when she does, the planets swing around her. She don't step on sidewalks, seems her teenage boyfriends all still dream about her. She don't need the glitter of the Vegas lights. She could blow a kiss and leave you spinning like a tilt-a-whirl. I met a girl, she made me smile, she made me wait. She crossed the street, she crossed my heart. She fixed her dress, she bit her lip, she lit me up. I met a girl with crazy shoes and baby blues. The way she moves is changing my whole world. I met a girl. The sunshine waits for her to wake up. She's a ponytail, no makeup Saturday. She don't need umbrellas in the summer rain. She could catch the eye of a hurricane in blue jean pearls. I met a girl, she made me smile, she made me wait. She crossed the street, she crossed my heart. She fixed her dress, she bit her lip, she lit me up. I met a girl with crazy shoes and baby blues. The way she moves is changing my whole world. She turned around and it felt like the world turned upside down. And the only thing that I could say was, hey. And I'm so glad she didn't walk away. Dances like nobody sees her. Can't believe I get to be here in her world. I met a girl, she made me smile, she made me wait. She crossed the street, she crossed my heart. She fixed her dress, she bit her lip, she lit me up. I met a girl with crazy shoes and baby blues. The way she moves is changing my whole world. I met a girl. I met a girl. I'm still alive. They're worried over nothing. They should know I'm perfectly fine. It's just a mood I get in now and then when I need get gone and flat out disappear. Well, there ain't no telling where I'm bound, a big city or the country, a little beach town, but you won't find me 'cause I can't be found. I'm on a mission to be missing. I'll be back someday, I just don't know when. Till then I'll be a feather floating in the wind. So don't you go missing me, 'cause sometimes missing is my favorite place to be. I bet the grass is 3 feet high and the mailbox is full of bills. 100 messages I need to check, and when I get the chance I will. But right now I'm busy taking it easy, can't worry about stuff like that. My only concern is a left or a right turn somewhere on a map. Well, there ain't no telling where I'm bound, a big city or the country, a little beach town, but you won't find me 'cause I can't be found. I'm on a mission to be missing. I'll be back someday, I just don't know when. Till then I'll be a feather floating in the wind. So don't you go missing me, 'cause sometimes missing is my favorite place to be. I love those locations where nobody knows my name. How long I'll be staying is always subject to change. Well, there ain't no telling where I'm bound, a big city or the country, a little beach town, but you won't find me 'cause I can't be found. I'm on a mission to be missing. I'll be back someday, I just don't know when. Till then I'll be a feather floating in the wind. So don't you go missing me, 'cause sometimes missing is my favorite place to be. Still not used to you being gone. It's been hard for me to just move on. I'm stuck in a place I don't wanna be. If you change your mind and come looking for me, I'm living here in Lonesomeville, down the street just over the hill. A little house, 2 trees and a yard, and one great big broken heart. It's always raining and the sun don't shine when you live on Solitary Drive. Well, it's a small community, population me, here in Lonesomeville. I pour me some whiskey when I get home from work, sit on the couch and do nothing but hurt. I finally cry myself to sleep. It's an everyday routine when you're living here in Lonesomeville, down the street just over the hill. A little house, 2 trees and a yard, and one great big broken heart. It's always raining and the sun don't shine when you live on Solitary solitary drive. Well, it's a small community, population me here in Lonesomeville. It's always raining and the sun don't shine when you live on solitary drive. But it's a small community, population me. If you ever change your mind, I won't be hard to find here in Lonesomeville. Ain't no crying in your beer, ain't no she walked out the door, ain't nobody broken hearted in country music anymore. Everybody's hooking up, getting down, tearing up their little town, loading up their cooler and they're heading south beach bound, working on their tan, koozie on a beer can, party every night, throwing up their hands. Ain't no crying in your beer, ain't no she walked out the door, ain't nobody broken hearted in country music anymore. It killed me when you left me, I thought I was your baby. I was going all kinds of climb the wall crazy, searching